usually stream through this. Let's try.
Approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists.
Okay.
And he has spilled a lot of alleged tea about P. Diddy. He says that Diddy actually ordered a hit out on Biggie.
I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists.
Oh.
Yeah, that he wanted all the rights to all his catalogs. I turned him down because I also found out that very night that Biggie had plans of leaving Bad Boy. Jay-Z and Puffy wanted Biggie killed. Bottom line, you don't have to believe me, believe the facts. Here's a man that wanted to leave Bad Boy. He wanted to do his own thing. He mentioned several times how he was tired of being used and abused, that he was bigger than Bad Boy itself.
Now, this is not the first time.
Yeah, so then we had clip number 1, some shocking revelations from Uncle Ron. He claiming that Diddy was behind, I guess wanting Biggie dead at some point, which sounds crazy. I mean, it's not the first time we heard Gene Deal kind of infer to stuff like that before in other people, but I mean, as crazy as this industry is, what do you think of that? This guy, Uncle Ron.
Didn't he get beat up? Didn't they have some kind of story about him getting beat up today?
Yeah, this is there's a video going around on Night and Day Media where they've got something with him where they're saying he was allegedly he said he was hospitalized.
Allegedly, you got your ass whooped. That's what happened. They ain't playing. Them likes ain't that important. You know what I'm saying? I just heard him talk crazy last night, and then today you hear that he beat up. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it gets messy. It's a lot of, he put a lot of he put a lot of crazy things out there. You know what I'm saying? Jaguar right too. They I don't know. She's more bona fide. I don't know who this dude is, even though I've seen him in the little pictures with Jay-Z and them. Well, you better be quiet. Better be quiet. Bye. You better be quiet. Niggas is barely walking around. And how Bodyguard get beat up? You supposed to be tough. Hey, but man, it is what it is. Some of the things that people is doing on these platforms, you would ask me if they would have done this years ago. I would have like, hell no. I know they ain't talking about that, but people they going hard. I guess there's people that disgruntled or at the same time, can't everybody be wrong. You know what I'm saying? So maybe there's some truth to it. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you're seeing what people getting talked about, they getting beat up.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. I mean, we don't know how accurate that video is from Night and Day Media. They say that he was allegedly hospitalized, but we don't know if it's a video they've recirculated because what it's like with these, especially these TikTok looking videos, people are reposting them and we don't know when the original one was posted. There's another one that was posted where he speaks on Jay-Z, Beyonce, and a bunch of other celebrities and stuff too. As you said, I don't really know this guy's background or history. I've seen, a picture that is put up and stuff out there, but in these times with media, yeah, people can make these kind of claims that inevitably will end up going viral.
Yeah, but at the same token, like I said earlier, like, what if you are a bodyguard and you was paid to bodyguard somebody and you really don't like them? You know what I'm saying? It's a cold game. Just a slip of, they not liking you or you don't pay them a certain way or they feel like they need more money or whatever and you don't give it to them. All they got to do is turn their head. It's a lot of crazy people out here. So you need security, especially when you get to that height of success and stuff like that. The bodyguards, a lot of times they do know all because they're right there. You know, sometimes you can't shield things from certain people, and so you know the bodyguard always comes out with the tell all book and all of that. But you know, in these days, you can tell all, and it don't be good for you. You know,
Yep.
so.
Well, you know, there's always going to be consequences one way. We did see in some of his videos that he said he welcomes any threats and he's not afraid of, you know, any retribution because he knows these people's dark secrets.
Well, a lot of times they make them sign confidentiality agreements and stuff like that, but you really can't stop after a while. You know, it's a limitation on everything. So that's why it's a good narrative because people have been hearing about this for a long time. Been hearing about Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know, there are people to wonder about their life because they keep it private. You know, they try to keep it private. My homeboy used to date Beyonce's sister. My homeboy Daniel, he got a baby by her. Matter of fact, if Daniel, you see this, big up, Floss Mode, you know what it is. Wow, but I was hanging out with him when before they even had the baby together. You know what I'm saying? And I used to, I'm like, man, you with Beyonce's sister? He used to try to act like it was nothing. Bookie, talk about Bookie. I used to be like, man, please, boy, I'll be sitting there with full halo on. I wouldn't even look at Beyonce if that's supposed to be part of my family. I wouldn't even be looking at her in the face if I was in the family.
Man, you gotta play how it go, man. Yeah, you gotta play how it go. Hold up, I'm gonna try and play this extra clip, which is the second part to what we just seen.
Jay-Z, listen to this.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Okay, I get the threats, but you have to remember one thing. I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people. Beyonce, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career because she said something about you. That's how hateful you guys are. How you step on anybody to stay on the top. So remember, your relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires. There's no love there. See, what's done in the dark will definitely come in the light. Keep your threats up. I'm here today. What I gotta say, I'm gonna say it. So don't make idle threats to me. Cause say I ain't Biggie. Say I ain't Beanie Siegels. I ain't Freeway. How you wrote all them off the minute they did for you to get you to the top. All them writing for you, and then the minute you get a little taste of success, you wrote them off. You just totally said, I don't know him. Say you don't know me. I dare you. I dare you. Remember, all the receipts, all the proof, the old school footage, I still have it. Hardly nobody knows. But I'll say it, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She's been on them for a long time. And you keep her that way. Y'all wish it what you wish it to stay on top. But there's one thing about me, bro. I can't be bought. This is Uncle Ron.
Uncle Ron.
It's like I know how you guys started. I can put my foot down and make it all go away. Promise you. You're playing with the wrong one now.
So the Bodyguard is alleging that Jay-Z and Beyonce are the demise of.
Yeah, so we see Ron, you know.
See, my thing is this. What's your angle? That's my thing. What's your angle? What is you getting out of saying this about Benny Siegel and all how he conducting his business? What are you getting out of that? Talk about I'm the wrong one to mess with. That yeah, you got receipts, all right. Doctor hospital receipts, big BB King looking ass nigga. You need to sit your ass down and get out of people's business. And that's the reason why it happened. What happened? You know what I mean? Now some of the stuff may be true or whatever, but that ain't none of his business. What he did with Benny Siegel and Freeway and all them and Kerry Hilson and all them. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure like if somebody was talking down about you or talking bad about you and your wife, would you gonna sit there and just let it happen? Big Bobby Blue Bland looking ass nigga. No, you ain't gonna let it happen. You gonna say something and make people example. Like that's what you do when you have money. But still in all, you know, like I said, that's their business. You know, I met Jay-Z before. He's an arrogant bastard, hella arrogant. Like can't stand by me and all that. But that's him. That's in his own world. He still put them dudes in to say and do what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like. I you know, that shit he did with Dame Dash and all that, that's, hey, man, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, none of us is making no money off the shit. So, you know, I don't know what dude angle is, though. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, like, don't play with me and all that. Like, who is you? We know who Jaguar Wright is, but who is you?
We don't know the totality behind the argument. Obviously, him taking it to online, he's put it in a public kind of forum and arena, and is using the emphasis, or I guess the guys that being a bodyguard and being around these people at some portion or period of time. Now, yeah, we don't know in totality what sprung this sort of rift. We do know, however, we live in a time where people worship and idolize a lot of these celebrities and stuff. So we have people now who are coming out in a sense is like whistleblowers. I personally, you know, I think there's a fine line in it sometimes because, as you said, you know, you do have an aspect of where people have their business, and then you have another aspect of where people become public figures and are kind of using a certain image in portrayal to the people and the public, and then you're gonna have people that are gonna want to, you know, check the money or want to weigh in on it, because I think what happens is, especially when we're looking at celebrities and stuff, we're dealing with people who have massive amounts of influence over other people in their lives and stuff, and sometimes that needs to be kind of called. It's kind of interesting because recently NBA Youngboy did an interview and says he actually hates his murder raps and he's going to be converted to Mormonism soon. Some people take it with a grain of salt, but they say he released some music last year and has been on some kind of what they call it, like house arrest and stuff like that, and kind of been reevaluating his situation and his troubles, and he's saying to himself that it troubles him to know that his music, you know, might have influenced people to do harm to other people and stuff like that, and he's holding himself accountable. You know, he's only a 23-year-old, and I think it's quite mature because even in the hip-hop industry, we see a lot of people who are a lot older and they display so much immaturity and stuff, but what we're dealing with is people having to understand that I guess these celebrities, they have influence, like Youngboy saying, over other people's lives and stuff, and sometimes they need to be checked on it. Now, we don't know with what this guy is saying in terms of bad business, or if he's saying that, you know, they're not the people that they're portraying to be. Now, we can question who is he to be the one to call him out on that, but you know, it's such a mixed bag when it comes to this celebrity culture and stuff. I mean, what do you think of NBA Youngboy denouncing the negativity in the past of his music?
Well, I don't really follow a lot of the rappers, but I do know about dude. And what I will say is, in order for a person to say something like that, they had to have lived that life, and he has lived that life. He with the business. I'm from LA, so you know, I hear he was out there in LA getting into it with people. You know, that's just that young shit. You know, it's the young shit. Yeah, he said he's right though. These rappers do need to get checked, but who is going to be the one to check them? It seems like when you go check somebody, you about to get popped, a shot or something. These youngsters ain't taking none of that. And at the same time, when you value life, when you see how precious life is and how everybody is dying and everybody is dead now, everybody is gone, you're supposed to preserve life. And so I do feel like that is a very mature angle that he came. came from, and he lived it. It's not like he just, oh, y'all don't do that, and you know this is gonna happen to you if you do this and all that they're preaching, and right, but he lived it. You know what I'm saying? So for him to denounce that, that's what's up. I think it was somebody else that that denounced them gangbanging. It was Roddy Ricch or somebody. They denounced it. You know, and people, they got a lot of backlash from. How could you give backlash to somebody that wants to better their life, that's tired of the killing and tired of that shooting and killing and losing their homies, and you know, mothers is crying and families is broke up, and you know, it's just terrible. So, you know, I tip my hat off to NBA Youngboy. Do you think what?
I know that, man. I think it's important that people look at the responsibility of their own actions and words and stuff. Sometimes I know there is the aspect of being an artist, and people say, you know, creative expression and stuff like that. But especially what we've seen over the years with artists and stuff, we know that there's a perpetuation of certain ideologies and lifestyles, and even social aspects of how to live. And my eye with it in a lot of cases, especially in the worst cases, is some people, they don't particularly, you know, maybe live those types of lifestyles that they put out in their music. As you said, some people may have had those experiences or street experiences. You know, Youngboy, still being a young cat, he's had some experiences, you know, and he's definitely wants to see continue and just progress life in a different kind of way and stuff like that. He says it's going to be a day-by-day process. You know, I don't think fans are going to be expecting any major shifts like on his music, like he's going to change overnight to be like a gospel rapper or anything like that. I don't think you're expecting anything that dramatic, but at least he's looking at things with an analytical mind.
You know what? I feel like these youngsters, these young Thundercats that's killing each other and all that type of shit in hip-hop, if y'all going to go kill each other, if it's going to evidently happen, don't mix rap and hip hop with it. Y'all go do that shit on your own and go somewhere else, and don't even represent hip hop if you're gonna do all this type of killing and all that. Because really, what y'all doing is all the forefathers, the Cool Hercs, the African Bambatas, the Grandmaster Flash, the Furious Five, all of them, and the rest of everybody that contributed to hip hop. It's like y'all tarnishing what people that worked on, that built, that's feeding y'all. You know what I'm saying? All that killing and showing guns, and then at the same time, the companies is more responsible than the actual artists. The artist is young; they young and dumb. They don't know nothing, but these companies know what's going on. And so, back in our era when we was rapping and doing our music and all that, they didn't even allow none of that showing guns in the video and everybody hella turned up and turned out and all that. They wasn't having none of that. You know, you'll lose your record deal doing that. And so the companies allow it. And so I feel like it's the company's fault. They're allowing it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different aspects of things when it comes to money. I guess people will put often financial gain before principles or a higher value of culture, which is why I guess we're in a lot of the problems we see today. Yeah, I just want to say in terms of everybody you listed, I do agree, except for Africa Bambaataa, not to
right. I know how you feel about that. I mean, yeah. I don't really know if it's true or not. I just spoke on it, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know it's alleged for what he did to Hassan Campbell, but and allegedly others, but since then I've took a personal stance to kind of well, I say I condemn him. I don't go too hard on him, pause, but you know, I don't
I feel you. Well, I don't condone any of that either. I'm just saying
I've taken his name out, even though, you know, as you said, his accomplishments within hip hop, you know, the Zulu.
I ain't mad.
Stuff, but yeah, I'll be like, you know, when I hear that name, Bam, I'll be like, yeah, it's a shame, you know, what he did to Paul Hassan Campbell and those people, man. Allegedly, you know, yeah, shout out to Hassan Campbell if you see.
You know, I'm gonna be quiet about him, but you know, if Africa Bambaataa was on, it really did that. That's whack.
Yeah,
I'll put that out there myself.
That's a fact. So, but we know that there's definitely a darker aspect to this hip hop industry than what's, you know, on the surface, what people see. More and more as the months continue and as the years progress, we see more stuff being uncovered. Now, some people are going to debate on whether it's true or not, you know, going back to some of the original stuff. So, I guess only time will tell. We do know that often what's done in the dark does come out in the light, and
amen.
The truth ain't necessarily got to defend itself. It's just gonna be so. I guess that you know, some things people will never know because unless you was there, you ain't ever gonna know. People can sit there and speculate all day long. This person's gay, this thing, that. Unless you were there in the
Right.
incident, something the times you never know. But I think the speculation and the story sometimes there's no smoke without fire.
Right. You're absolutely right. Good way to put it too.
Yeah. So but with that being said, you know, let's wind down on this one. You know, we're gonna be back soon.
Word up.